Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. This is Tagline Films, and this is the channel that brings you all the latest sports updates from all over the world. And of course, as I told you earlier on, we are sponsored by H&S Gamers, and they are located in Makere Chikoni Onyewet Olympia Hostel. There is a big doing. All you have to do is ask the Askari, they will direct you. Yeah, you can find us on all our social platforms. We have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Yeah, we are there on all the platforms. And just to let you know, we are going to be giving you the results of the games that were played on the weekend. And we are going to be giving you the analysis. And of course, your presenter, I am Allan Sentonga, and with me is Dowie.
Thank you so much, Allan. Yes. My name is Dowie. Thank you for tuning into our YouTube channel.
Yes.
This is the channel that is going to give you the latest sports news. We are in football right now, but we'll be giving you tennis and Formula One. Keep tuned in. Thank you.
Yes, of course, we saw very many games being played on the weekend. Yes. And the first game was Everton playing against Liverpool. Quite a funny one. The result was not what we expected, but of course, as you know, a derby is always a derby. It ended in a 0-0 draw. What did you see about the game, Dowie?
Me, what I saw in that game, they are lacking creativity in Liverpool. There were no creativity. Liverpool, their striker, the few chances he missed.
Yes.
But they didn't create a lot of chances.
Yes.
You can see they struggled a lot, like Dia struggled a lot. And Salah is not there. He's like, I don't know what is exactly wrong with Liverpool, but I think the problem is coming from the midfield, so they have to work on it. I don't know whether right now the window is closed, so there's no way they can bring a creative midfielder, but I think they lack the creativity in the game, so yes, that's why we saw a draw, 0-0 draw.
The creativity was lacking, but Liverpool won that game. Earlier on, Liverpool had won against Bournemouth, a 9-0 win. But we saw in that game, Roberto Firmino was very creative. The creativity that he brought in the game, I thought it was very unfair of the coach to start Darwin Núñez ahead of Roberto Firmino, because we saw Firmino was very creative in the other game. We saw him trying to create a few chances here and there, passing the ball, getting a few assists. And we saw a player, Darwin Núñez, he was not that creative. We saw Trent Alexander-Arnold trying to cross the balls in the box. Núñez was heading the balls out. He was missing the goals. But when they brought in Firmino, there was a little bit of change in the creativity. But I think on the Liverpool side, going to Everton, they really had a good game. The likes of Gordon, Demirai Gray, these are players who put in a lot of effort. And I really appreciate the effort they put in.
Their defense was really good.
Yes. The likes of Conor Cody, I liked the way he was defending.
Yes. A lot of good saves. And I think the fact that I can't blame the coach for bringing Núñez, because the fact that Núñez is their best signing so far this season, so you have to put him in, and the fact that they are competing with Haaland indirectly, so Haaland having 10 goals when Núñez is having 2 goals, so the coach, I think the coach wanted him to start this one so that he can at least score some goals.
To some extent, I would agree with you, but when you compare that situation with Manchester United, Cristiano Ronaldo was the best player of Manchester United last season. It is so funny how Erik ten Hag is not giving him playing time. We are seeing that the coach has sat down, analyzed the team, and generated a team that can really win games. When you see a player who has been on form, a player who has been creating a few chances, a player who has been scoring here and there, I think I'd partially blame the coach for not playing Roberto Firmino, or he would have played him somewhere else, perhaps in the midfield, because he saw that the midfield was not creative enough. And as a striker who plays as a false 9, I think he can play as a creative midfielder also. But it ended in a 0-0 draw.
But I think I'll also give Everton the credit.
Yes.
They really played well.
They really played well. They missed a few chances here and there. Some goals were ruled out for offside. But of course, actually the game was very nice. It was impressive to watch. We saw Darwin Núñez hitting the post. We saw Luis Diaz hitting the post. It was very good, fantastic to watch. Then moving on to the Brentford game. It won 5-2 against Leeds. Leeds are clearly showing that they are missing their skipper, Rodrigo. How did you see the game?
The game, I thought that Leeds, it will end into a draw or Leeds to win, but I was surprised to see this. So Brentford is not really a joke.
It's not a joke. When you look at the players like Ivan Toney, a fantastic performance, a hat-trick. I also think he got an assist. He did get an assist, but he was a very fantastic player. 3 goals, very good from him, very good. I liked the way he played. A penalty, the confidence that he used when he was taking the penalty, then the free kick, then the other goal. You saw that
they tried to come back into the game, but it was not.
They even got.
They didn't allow them to get even closer to their win. So they had to win. I think Brentford is really playing well this season.
Brentford are playing well, and then of course Marco Roca got his first goal from Leeds. For Leeds, a player from Bayern Munich, he got his first goal for Leeds. But of course, that doesn't guarantee that they are winning. Of course, they're really missing Rodrigo. Let me tell you something. When Rodrigo is in the game, there's a way he plays. I like the way he drops back to pick the balls, and he likes creating the chances. He makes a lot of dummy runs so that other players make good runs. I really like Rodrigo.
His pace.
He has a lot of pace, and remember the other goal against Chelsea, being marked by the likes of Koulibaly and the likes of Richie James, Thiago Silva, managing to pull out a header in such a defense. Rodrigo is such a good player. They really missed him. Ivan Toney, I think, was one of the best players of the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Then moving on to Chelsea against West Ham, a very funny game. It ended in a 2-1 win for Chelsea. A goal that was allowed, the Chelsea goal that was, the West Ham goal that was ruled out, a goal by Cornet, a very nice player, but of course it was ruled out. Well, there was a lot of comedy. They were saying that a West Ham player fouled Mendy, and the good thing with what I liked about Mendy is that when they fouled him, he really stayed down. He never showed any effort of trying to stand up or trying to defend the goal, and I think that was the main reason why the referee stood against West Ham. How did you see Chelsea? How did you see their creativity in the game?
Yeah, I think Chelsea, they are not playing well.
Exactly.
They are not playing well. They won by chance.
Really by chance.
Yeah. You saw that almost West Ham dominated that game.
They really dominated that game.
Yeah, they won this one by chance. So I think Chelsea has to work. I'm waiting for them to bring in Uba.
Yes.
Maybe I can see whether what I was thinking is what because I think they lack a striker.
That's also true, because when you look in the other game, Raheem Sterling was trying to cross the balls inside here, but Armando Broja was not getting them. But when they brought in the likes of Ben Chilwell, I liked the way he played. Scoring a very nice goal. Actually, I never expected that one to enter Dowie. But then the cross from him that also led to a goal. I think Ben Chilwell is a nice player.
He is proving that he's nice.
Leaving alone the fact that Cucurella is a new player, I think the coach should consider starting Ben Chilwell at least.
And I'm thinking the next game Ben Chilwell will start.
Ben Chilwell had a nice performance. Of course, I'd also feel pity for West Ham because they missed their chance. But again, Cornet missed a free header.
Yes.
He missed a free header. I think was supposed to be scoring that one.
Yeah, I think they play. Chelsea won this one, but I think the creativity is still down. They are not creating a lot of there was no chances in the game, so they need to work on that. I don't know how the coach is going to do it, but the Chelsea with Kante is really different. I don't know why.
It is very
Kante
different.
is playing like a defensive midfielder, but
at the same time an attacking midfielder. I like the way Kante plays, and I think in the absence of players like Kante, the coach should consider starting a back 4 instead of a back 3, because when you look at the likes of Fofana reached an extent where he was not doing anything in the game because they were not being attacked. Okay, the good thing about the Chelsea formation is that you will not get attacked that much, but there is a lot of I think they don't have the players that have that level of creativity.
The opponent is
it's very difficult. Because when you're playing that formation,
you can press the ball in your half.
Very
but
good.
It's difficult to go to the opponent side. So I think they should bring in more midfielder.
Yes.
I don't know why he didn't start Jorginho, I don't know why he didn't.
He wanted to start Gallagher with Loftus-Cheek. Okay, I liked the way Gallagher tried to play. Gallagher, he tried to play a good. Loftus-Cheek is not the type of player I'd like to start. And then the other mistake that he made in the game was removing the likes of Mateo Kovacic and leaving Loftus-Cheek in the game. Kovacic is one hell of a player who will try to attack here and there, provide a few chances, and they will always we need to start him in the absence of the likes of N'Golo Kante. Then in the other game, Newcastle drew with Crystal Palace.
I didn't say this one. To be a 0-0 draw.
Yes. Okay. A draw was very obvious, looked obvious, because you saw both teams were trying to be creative, trying to score goals here and there. But it was very funny how no goal entered in the net. So I think there was a little bit of lack of creativity. But these are all average teams. You can't blame them for not scoring. But when you're having the likes of
Tottenham, Crystal Palace, though right now Crystal Palace is playing as a team.
Yeah, by
the
that,
connectivity in that team is superb. I think Crystal Palace is one of the Premier League teams that have teamwork.
Yes, they really play together. They play as a team. Yes,
and they attack as a team.
That is very nice of them. I'd say that they have to improve. Then a very upset performance, a very disappointing performance from Nottingham Forest. How they managed to lose this one. They are 2-0 ahead, but Bournemouth managed to get 3-2 up front.
I think that the Nottingham coach has to explain this one, because how can you make like 21 transfer, like how can you buy 21 players and you can lose against Bournemouth that doesn't have a coach right now.
Almost the worst team in the league. Leave alone Leicester, but you look at a team that lost 9-0, a team that lost 4-0, a team that lost 3-0. You can't just lose against the team.
Exactly. The Nottingham coach has to explain this reason, because it was really sad to lose against Bournemouth at home. Playing at home.
It was very upset, but a very good performance from Dominic Solanke, a goal and an assist. But they also managed to pull out some fantastic goals. I think Bournemouth, if they keep up the pressure, I think this could give them some little bit of momentum. They try to revolve themselves.
I'm also thinking that the way they sacked the coach of Bournemouth, that wasn't really, because the fact that he was playing with teams.
Yes, they were not fair by them. Only that they lost 9-0 against Liverpool.
They won the first game against Aston Villa.
Yes.
They were beaten by Man City, they were beaten by Liverpool.
And Arsenal.
And Arsenal.
Those are all big teams. You'd expect that to come many times.
So
yes.
I think it wasn't fair.
Then a winner for Tottenham against Fulham, 2-1.
They struggled a lot. I don't know what's wrong with Tottenham.
They are
not scoring goals.
They are not scoring goals. I'm wondering also.
Yeah, last season they were scoring 4, 5,
3. You'd see them trying to score very many goals.
This time around they are not scoring. I don't know what.
I'm also wondering. But of course, an assist from Richarlison, a masterclass from Højbjerg. I liked the goal that he scored.
And Richarlison scored the goal that they didn't allow.
Yeah, disallowed goal.
Yeah, I don't know, because at least that was his first goal. I was happy for him.
Yes.
It was disallowed.
But I think he's trying to blend in. And he will try to score goals here and there. And then a goal from Harry Kane. How did you see it? It seems like he's back on form, trying to score every game. Then this Mitrovic guy, I think there's something really special about him. You go into a game and expect a Mitrovic goal, regardless of the team he's playing against, be it Man City, be it Liverpool, be it United, be it Chelsea or Arsenal.
I don't know. His pace is superb. I don't know.
Yes.
He's 100%, because the way he presses the ball.
Yes, very nicely. That goal was very good actually. Trying to press the player. I like the way he plays. He's a very good player.
I'm thinking the son is not on form.
Yes.
I can tell you. That's why they keep on changing him with Carlson.
Yes.
I think it's not on form.
Then Wolves surprisingly beat Southampton, a 1-0 win.
They've been playing well, though they've not been having the chances of winning.
Yes.
So if you consider the game against Newcastle,
the draw
against Newcastle,
yes,
they played Newcastle well. The opposition was on point, but they just lacked the
scoring opportunities. I think the brightness. I actually think this is a Wolves that we know. Wolves never wins 3-0. You always expect it to be either 2-1, 1-0 or something like that. A goal from Podence. I think he's one of the most creative players they're having on pitch, living along the likes of João Moutinho, the likes of Ruben Neves. This is one of the most creative players that they're having on pitch, and I think he provided as expected. Then Man City draw with Aston Villa.
Aston Villa making the match to be like a big match. Like you may think that Manchester was playing Liverpool.
Yes, I like the way they are playing.
They play. There's the way they handled Haaland.
Yes.
We know now Allan is like a scoring machine.
Yes.
So the way they handled him, I think I'll give credit to Aston Villa. I don't know whether it was by chance or
I would not
really
say by chance. Aston Villa brought in Ashley Young to replace Matikash. I think that was the changing point of the game, because
it was me actually Ashley Young really needed the man of the match because the way he played.
He played really nicely.
Yeah.
You saw him pocketing a few players here and there. He never allowed players to get past him. And then the other thing is that he made a lot of nice passes from the defense to the midfield, from wing to wing. I think he played very nicely. But finally, Erling Haaland had to score a goal as usual. He had to score a goal. Goal machine. And I like the way he scored the goal. You'd expect any other player to score using the head. But of course, he really enjoys scoring with the legs, making those half volleys. I enjoy the way he plays. And then a goal from Leon Bailey. It was very fantastic, the teamwork that they showed. When you saw which player, it was Ramsey. When he got the ball, Leon Bailey was behind the City defense, but he ran. And I think Ramsey really knew what he was doing. When he crossed the goal, the ball, we saw Leon Bailey putting it inside the net, and it was really unstoppable. The goalkeeper had nothing to do to it. He tried his level best, but of course, yes, a very fantastic finish. Then again on Sunday, we saw Brighton playing against Leicester, one of the most awkward scores of the weekend, 5-2. I think Leicester really need prayers, because right now I'm really thinking they don't have anything to do with your goalkeeper out, playing Ndidi as a central midfield, central defender. This is one of the worst.
I don't know, because I watched the game.
Yes.
From start to the end.
Yes.
And Leicester, they have a big problem actually. Their defense is not connecting. See Evans has been good.
Yes.
But their connection is even indeed their connection with Evans. They are total, there's no teamwork.
What is wrong with Soyuncu?
I don't know.
Soyuncu is a nice player. I saw him warming up. He's a very good player. I don't know why they're not starting him. And what was really wrong with them when they were selling Wesley Fofana? You can't just sell out your player. They let the transfer window end because they say that when they lose Wesley Fofana, they will sign Harry Maguire, which never happened.
I think they are having financial issues.
Fine. Yeah, it could be financial issues. That's why they let their captain go. Again, letting Wesley Fofana go. But you have Soyuncu, play him there. And I think when you get the likes of Amate, these are the right backs and the left backs. They can play centre back. And then you get that CDM, that Ndidi, and you make him play as a wing back. Because a player who is not used to be playing from behind. You saw Ndidi trying to go in front sometimes because he's really used to being in front. So if they played Ndidi as a wing back, and then they brought in Amate as a centre back, I think that would be a little bit better, because we see the Ndidi trying to move. I think there's that goal that they scored against them. Ndidi really pushing the player. I don't know what was wrong with him. He could get the ball, but he decided to push the player instead. That was really one of the most awkward decisions in the game. How did you see that?
I'm saying indeed he can't play as central defender.
Yes.
He's not a defender.
He's not a defender at all.
He might be a defensive midfielder,
Yes.
but he's a midfielder.
Yes, yes.
He can't play as a defender. Yeah, the coach has to look into it. He can't play as a defender. He is trying so hard, but he can't.
Yes, he really can't. Then leaving alone the negative sides about Leicester, I really liked the way Patson Daka played in the game, a goal and an assist. He was a good player. He used his pace in most of the times. I think
Brighton is good.
Brighton is a good
Brighton
team.
to Brentford, those two teams are really playing
Yes,
well.
and I'm actually starting to believe that Manchester United was not very, very bad to lose against them, because we are seeing these teams providing in each and every game.
Actually, the teams that are good this season that are really good, there is Brighton, Brentford, and Crystal Palace.
Yes, these are teams you expect to all finish in the first half of the thing of the table.
So when you're playing them, you have to get ready for them.
Then that free kick from McAllister, it was a very nice one. When you look at the goalkeeper of Leicester, Sanchez, I think it is it's Ward. He really put up a very bad performance.
That is not a goalkeeper. I don't know where they got him from, but
he's really awkward.
It
really
is better
awkward.
for you to bring someone at least from the academy to go in the goal, because he's not a goalkeeper. There's no, you can't be like Leicester can get like 5 shots on target, and they might they concede 4 out
the
of
5.
5.
That is very awkward.
That is.
I actually wonder why they never signed Dean Henderson on a loan deal.
Exactly.
It was cheap. And of course, Manchester United was going to be paying a portion of the salary.
They are not saying they've not made really good signings this season.
Yes,
Yeah,
and they have lost a lot.
It is the problem with their finance. I think they have financial issues.
Yeah, they must be having financial issues. Then
And
moving,
it will cost them a lot. They might even.
they might be relegated. Looking at the way they are playing, it is really disappointing. Then moving on to the most speculated goal of the weekend, Arsenal against Manchester United at Old Trafford, 3-1 win for Manchester United. How did you see the game, looking at the fact that Arsenal was lacking Thomas Partey alongside Mohamed Elneny in their midfield? When you consider the midfield of Arsenal that played with the midfield of Manchester United that played, you really see a very big difference in class.
Exactly.
The likes of Granit Xhaka and Albert Zambilo Konga, you just can't compare them to Christian Eriksen and McTominay. McTominay was not playing good last season, but I think the competition from Casemiro, it really gave him a lot of work to do, and we saw him try improving his game way a lot.
This is not the McTominay that the McTominay that played yesterday is not the McTominay I knew that causes fouls a lot. So he played really well.
Yes.
And if you saw that game, Arsenal was really missing Thomas Partey.
They missed him a lot. Sambi Lokonga is not a player to play that.
They tried a lot to cover that gap, and it wasn't there. At the end, it costed them, and it showed them that they were missing.
They really missed him.
And if you can see, Arsenal, the problem that costed them last season are the same problems that are coming back. Because last season again, it was Thomas Partey and Katie, their shot theory that got injured. Yeah, that got injured.
Yes.
And it costed them a lot. They missed the top 4 because of those two, and it is coming back. They've been in transfer windows, but they didn't.
I actually wonder why he did solve the issue, because when you compare Arsenal with the other teams, you're seeing that other teams are having 2 players in each number. This gives them a chance, a window, that if a player gets injured, they have another player to play there.
There are so many matches that are going to be played.
There are very many
there's
matches.
Europa, there's Carling Cup, there's FA.
Yes.
So you need a big squad.
You really need a big squad.
And that is the problem with Arsenal. From the times of Arsenal, that has been a problem. Because if they lose some players, it is actually it costs them a lot. So,
Yes. Arsenal is not a team that really enjoys signing players. I don't know why, but when you look at other teams sign players, you'll be like, why is this team signing this player? But these are teams that are preparing, and that these teams there's something that is changing. Teams are really getting players from their academies and then bringing them onto the big teams. Because when you look at the Manchester United squad, we see that Marcus Rashford is from the academy. This is a player who really came from the academy. When you look at the other teams, the likes of Chelsea, we are seeing Gallagher is from the academy. When you come back to Arsenal, Bukayo Saka is from the academy, Nketiah is from the academy, but these are players who are just being average. I actually don't know what's wrong with Bukayo Saka this season. How do you see it?
Bukayo Saka, I think he just needs time. I think he might not be on form, but he's trying to be.
He's trying to be. We saw him scoring a goal yesterday. A very nice goal.
So hard to come back to his form. So with time, I think he'll gain his pace.
I think that was what happened to Marcus Rashford last season. He really tried his level best. Every time they put him in the game, you saw him trying to make the runs, but of course he was really disturbed by decision making, which is not the case this season. I like the way that Rashford is making his decisions. When he's not able to shoot, he will pass the ball. When he sees a chance for him to shoot, he goes for the goal. And actually,
scoring too and get even making an assist.
I think he has a lot of good decision making. And then when you look at the game plan, Arsenal came with a game plan of passing the ball here and there, give it to this one, try to create a few chances. But of course, because they lacked that holding midfielder, a midfielder who would stay behind when the other players have moved forward, that really cost them a lot because it required a centre back to come and cover for him.
And Ericsson was massive. The quality of Ericsson in that match was
I like the way he was playing.
Those passes, those two passes were really cool, were really nice, were really superb.
I like the way he was involved in the
passes,
game.
The one the second goal, that pass, that beat the defenders, that was
it was a nice pass. And then when you look at Rashford, I like the way he bends his runs. He always seems to be offside, but it's so funny how he's always onside. And then what a goal from Antony on his debut. That's what every player dreams of, a goal on your debut and of course a win for your team. That's the perfect start of a career in a team. When you look at the Manchester United tactic, it was let them have the ball, we will do the counter-attacking, because you saw in an interview by Bruno Fernandes, he was saying, Marcus knows every time I have the ball, all he has to do is make the run, I'll spot him out. And then Christian Eriksen I liked the way he was playing, dropping back in the defensive side, the likes of Bruno Fernandes staying in the midfield and Marcus staying on the line with the defenders. It was really a planned thing. You saw the fact that Eriksen will pass the ball, Fernandes will give it out, and of course Rashford will go and try to finish. But this doesn't leave out Arsenal, because Arsenal is still on top of the table. However, of course, their upcoming fixtures, they're not.
They have to work on that in January, but I think they work on it in January. Yeah, the transfer windows in January.
But I think that is something that is difficult to get, because when you saw in Manchester United, they first brought in the likes of McTominay and Fred. They never had a chance of playing because their performance has not been good. But then the coach managed to spot out something that I think they liked someone who was a little bit of a leader in the midfield, because Yusuf Fernandes is always up front. They really need someone who is going to be guiding them. And McTominay never, I think McTominay moved only 3 or 4 times to be in the opponent's box and the opponent's half, but he spent most of the time in his own half, trying to cover all the runs.
Because if at all we saw McTominay of Shosha was even scoring goals.
Yes.
So this time McTominay was deep. He was defending. He was more of defending.
Yes.
He was making really good tackles.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that the coach really planned it well, and you give the credit to the coach.
Then moving on to the defense. The Arsenal defense was good, only that they were beaten by a few passes. I'd give them credit too, because we expected them to suffer a lot from the likes of Antony, Jadon Sancho. I expected Ben White to suffer a lot, because Sancho is a very skillful player and is already used to the Premier League. I expected Ben White to suffer very hard from a player like him, because Ben White is a central defender. They are playing him as a wing back. I expected him to face some challenges, but he gave me a nice performance. And then moving on to the who was it, Tiane?
No, the other one was
Zinchenko, Alexander Zinchenko. He tried to put on a nice performance.
Zinchenko is not good.
He's not good in defending, but I never saw Anthony getting past him that easily. And the Anthony goal that he scored, it was a little bit of teamwork and quick transitions, so I'd not blame the defense. Then moving on to the Manchester United defense, I saw what we call teamwork. You saw the likes of Diogo Dalot trying to defend, and I think Diogo Dalot got to know that he doesn't have to go in front when they scored the first goal that was disallowed, because we saw that Martinelli ran very fast. Diogo Dalot was not fast enough to catch up with him, so it gave Diogo Dalot a chance to rethink and get to know that I'm supposed to be staying behind. And then the likes of Taiwo Malacia, they all stayed behind. And then what a partnership between Alessandro Martinez and Rafa Varane.
Wow, it is solid.
I like the way they are playing. They are really hard. They try to cooperate.
It's like it is coming from the heart.
Yes.
They have it from the heart. They have to win no matter what. There's no goal.
You always see them when they make tackles are trying to show signs of togetherness, congratulating each other. We already see Lisandro Martinez after every game celebrating. I think that's a very nice one. Those are the games that were played on the weekend in the Premier League. I'm going to go through a few games that were played not in the Premier League. On Saturday in the French League, we saw PSG winning against Nantes, 2 goals for Kylian Mbappe, Neymar starting on the bench. Do you think Neymar was kept for Champions League, or it was just or they were thinking he was not good enough for the game?
No, I'm thinking we are thinking about the Champions League.
Yes, because they have a big game.
They
have a huge game that they are playing. So 3 goals for them. But of course, we know each team that is facing PSG in the French League 1, you just come with your death wish, because PSG is not. Then Lyon 5-0 against Angers, Marseille winning against Auxerre, 2 goals. Then moving on to German Bundesliga, we saw Frankfurt 4-0. We saw Wolfsburg losing 2-4 to Cologne, and then Union Berlin drawing with Bayern.
I didn't see this one.
I expected Bayern to win this one by default.
Yeah, me too. But I was surprised. I don't know what happened.
A goal from Joshua Kimmich.
Football is football.
Of course, you just never know what is going to come your way. Schalke 04 a draw with Stuttgart, and then a 3-2 for Freiburg against Bayer Leverkusen. Bremen winning 2-0 against Bochum. That was the German Bundesliga. Moving on to the Italian Serie A, we saw a draw for Fiorentina against Juventus. I think if Juventus brings this style of play against PSG, they'll have to consider at least 3 goals.
But
because PSG is very creative. You just never undermine PSG.
PSG is going to. It is a must win for PSG.
PSG will eat them raw.
I don't know what is wrong with Juventus. I really don't know. They are having good players. They are having quite players. They are having Champions League players. But I don't know what is wrong.
What is wrong?
Whether I'm thinking the coach is the problem. I don't know. Haven't watched the game to know exactly what is wrong with them. But I don't know.
They really have to improve. Then we saw the Milan derby, a win for AC Milan.
AC Milan is good. I'm really happy for AC Milan.
Yes.
Yeah, they are putting in a lot of their performances from hard. They are working as a team.
Really working as a team, but
they are working as a team, and these are the people, the players that say that no matter what.
I think this game was yes. I think this game was really won by Giroud and Leao. I like Leao very much. He uses his height and pace. He's really a tough player to defend against, because he'll dribble past you in any possible way. Then Giroud, we all know him.
Making the last pass.
I like the way he plays. I actually think Leao is a very nice player. We are seeing Leao assisting Giroud and Giroud assisting Leao. This is the partnership that we all need in a team, and without it, a team cannot go forward. Then we saw a goal from Brozovic and a goal from Edin Dzeko. I think Lukaku is, I don't know what's wrong with Lukaku. He must be past his playing time. I think he needs to retire. Lukaku needs to retire. He has played a lot of football. He needs a lot of stuff to do. Then moving on, we saw a game between Lazio and Napoli. Napoli managed to beat them 2-1. How do you see that?
Lazio and Napoli. I also knew that Napoli can win this one because Napoli is and you saw Lazio was struggling because they really got a lot of yellow cards. They were struggling to defend Napoli. Napoli is far better than Lazio. Lazio is a team that doesn't make a lot in transfer.
Yes.
They always use the academy and the players they have, and they don't sell a lot of players.
Yes, they don't sell, but they lost their captain.
Their squad, yeah.
They lost Insigne and Khalido Koulibaly. These were one of the some of the key players in the team. I never expected them to have such a performance this season, but it is so fantastic how they had that performance. Then moving on, we saw in the Spanish La Liga, we saw Barcelona winning against Sevilla 3-0. A goal from Robert Lewandowski, an assist from their former player Jules Kounde. I think Lewandowski is really showing that the German Bundesliga is not a farmers' league, with the way he's scoring against the La Liga teams which were overhyped.
I'll compare Lewandowski to Sadio Mane. That was Sadio Mane fit in Bayern Munich.
Yes.
I think he played in Bundesliga for so many years.
Yes.
And it is the same thing that is happening in La Liga with Lewandowski.
Lewandowski is playing a lot of nice football.
Yeah.
I think I'd partially give it to the players he's playing with. These are all players who are good. I like the way Gavi played in the game. A fantastic performance from him. Then Rafinha also played very well. Then moving on to their counterparts, Real Madrid, they also won 2-1. A goal from Vinicius Jr. and a goal from Rodrigo. Those were the goals of those were the matches of the weekend. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are sponsored by H&S Gamers, and they are located in Makerere Chikoni on your way to Olympia Hostel. Guys, this is the only resting place that you need. And just to let you know, guys, this is Tagline Films, and we are going to be giving the latest transfer updates, sports news from all over the sports arenas. Keep tuned. Have a nice time.